Now we go to Dr. Figueroa. He's going to start with information about SBIR, STTR, general information. So, Dr. Figueroa.
Yeah, I'm stickler about staying in schedule. You know, if the presentation is 30 minutes, sometimes you go to places and they overstay their welcome. Let me address two notions here that were presented and not presented, but people have. One is that SBIR is free money. It isn't, in a way that the proposals are challenging and you have to invest a lot of time and effort to write a competitive proposal. The other notion is that you get what you pay for, because we provided all these services, and then you pay nothing, so you get nothing. Absolutely, as you have heard, we have a pretty good support, pretty talented people, and the team that is going to help you with the proposal is very experienced in writing proposals, not only for SBIR, but for other agencies. So keep that in mind. And please feel free to ask me questions. When we're talking about SBIR, what we're doing is we're looking for technologies and innovation have an element of risk. It has to be technologies that are innovative and technologies that it will take quite a bit of time to take to market. There's an element of risk in the sense that you have the concept working in the lab and it works fine, but still have some research to be carried out to make sure that you can take it to the market. Phase one, for example, it's you have the opportunity to determine the commercial viability of that technology. At the end of the phase one, basically, you have a report that tells you where you say, these are the challenges that I identified and these are the solutions that I found out. For phase two, you have to have a commercial prototype. And the second bullet is important, is don't look at investors to help you with this technology because it's too much risk for investors. So I want you to look at SBTDC, Colmena, our program SBIR for support in trying to get you some funding through SBIR. So keep that in mind. Okay, as I mentioned, the program is designed to do this translation from the science and research effort into a commercial product. The not underlined, it's pretty blatant, is that the federal government wants that all the funds that have been spent in research, they have an impact in society. They want to have financial benefit, a good return on investment. So research for the research sake is good. You're going over there trying to find out what's behind the curtain. But there's going to be a point where after all this federal funding runs out that you need to commercialize to create some jobs and opportunities. Okay, I'm just going to go with what is highlighted. The intent is to increase the private sector, as I mentioned before, commercialization of the innovations derived from the research and development. The other part, which is not, the federal government wants for underrepresented people. I don't like the part about minorities because that's a different term, but underrepresented women, Hispanic, and Black to take advantage of this program. The program for agencies, there are 11 agencies that participate in this program. Out for the SBIR, I'll talk about STTR, and 8 for STTR. Every year, there is around $3.2 billion available for SBIR. The NIH and DOD have the big chunk, probably over $1 billion each, something like that. But this is every year, and it comes from the legislature, and is renewed every 2 or 3 years, but it's a law. And the rules are for those agencies that if you spend $100 million or more in intramural research, you have to set up 3.2% of that budget. And some agencies don't like it because, and the university, because they feel that they're taking away their research. But I think the idea and goal of the SBIR program are in line. The STTR is I've been talking about SBIR, but I'm grouping SBIR and STTR. And at this point, we're going to move to STTR. And STTR is technology transfer, which means you're going to be working with intellectual property and working with university. You must work with universities. And for that, the agencies have to have a budget greater than $1 billion, and there are $450 million for this program. This is not organized for profit. This is really for business. It is not to just have a .org type of connection. This is to commercialize. And I always say that it's not just to commercialize, but to get filthy rich. That's the intent. In 5 to 10 years, you have to make money, and you're going to create jobs. And then the other things that I say it is, you can think about this as planning on your retirement plan, because it takes 5 to 7 years to really start making money, but it's worth the effort. And the company, what is small business, is 500 employees or less. And that includes holding companies. If you have a small business, but the holding company has 750 employees, the application doesn't qualify. And the work has to be done in the United States. You have to be a citizen or a resident or green card or authorized to work in the United States. You cannot spend any of the funds leaving the country. Now we're going to talk about SBIR, as I mentioned. The money goes to the company. It doesn't matter if you're working with the university or not. The funds go to the small business. And then in phase 1, you can have up to 1/3 of the funds to go outside the company. Then you have to keep the rest for inside the company. So you cannot buy equipment, but you can hire people. You can buy supplies. And the most important is just to keep doing research and to have some of your postdoc or yourself doing this work. For phase 2, you can have up to 50% of the project going outside the company. So let's talk about the important part here, money. What we have in phase 1, which I told you is just the viability of the product, of the concept as a commercial tool. For phase 1 is 6 to 12 months. And for that, you can get for a year, let's go with a year, because that's what I recommend. You get 50,000 K, and that's kind of low, but that's what the Air Force does, and that's the bottom. Usually the agencies that we work with are 265, 256. And so the 400K comes from just one institute, NIH, the Cancer Institute. The other institute at NIH is about 256, 265K. Then the trust provide $100,000, dollar-to-dollar match up to $100,000. Everything is equity free. So the trust doesn't take any of your money, does any of your company, and the federal government doesn't take any of your company. It's just that you have to produce. So for phase 2, it goes from $650 to $2 million. Again, the $2 million is the Cancer Institute. But everything else is about $1 million in terms of match. And 650, I think that's USDA, right? Yep. So when you add all, it means that within 3 years, you will have equity-free funding to develop the concept of exceeding $1 million, 1.2, $1.3 million equity-free to do this. And In some cases, particularly the parts that are for NIH that you do in drug development and other things that will take many years. So you have to keep going. Okay, let's talk about the support. Keisha and Gian presented the kind of support, but we have a big group of organizations and people in Puerto Rico that give you support. And the trust, what we do is we help you develop competitive proposals, and that's where the challenge comes. We do not write the proposal. As of today, we do not write the proposals for you, but then you will see how to write a competitive proposal. What we do is to help you to develop a competitive proposal. So we go through the solicitation, then we go through the writing, what you do, how to communicate, and help you to position your innovation in a way that is competitive and is clear. Yes, go ahead.
In your experience, how long does this process of creating the proposal take?
Okay, to write the proposal, it depends how much time you spend, but it's about a month. You would say just about a month if you work hard and if you use our support. It's something that you can prepare for that. Then, just to expand on that, when you submit the proposal, and it could take about 4 to 6 months for you to get the funds. So you got to be prepared for that. Then what we do, like I said, we go through your concept, the commercial concept, the innovation, and we help you describe it in a form that is not thrown away. The success rate for SBIR is 10 to 15%, but in a way it's misleading if you do the right work. But let's take the case of you have a panel and you have 10 proposals. The norm is that at least 50% of them, 5 of them just get thrown away. And that's exactly what we want to avoid. We want to avoid that yours get thrown away in the first process. So if you work with us and get a competitive proposal, then you're going to be competing in a group of 5. So all of a sudden, you have a 20% probability. A lot of the panels, due to some of the dynamics in what have success and what doesn't, you have 2 to 3 proposals that you can fund in the panel. So if you have 2, all of a sudden, if you have a competitive proposal, your success rate, the chances are 40%. And if you have 3 that could be funded, it's 60%. So it is important for you to write a competitive proposal because it's not given. Now, you can resubmit, but if you write a good proposal, it's the fastest way. And remember, the agencies want to fund you. That it's in their best interest to give you to support your commercialization. Make it easy for them. Give them a good proposal. Again, let's go back to money. There is a program that is STTR, which I briefly mentioned, which is technology transfer research, small business technology transfer research. And for that one, you have to have a cooperative agreement with a research institution. And the funds that come to the company have to provide at most 60% of the funds have to go to the research institute, and then 40% will go to stay with the company. You have to have a cooperative agreement just to address mostly intellectual property issues. So if you get, for the universities, if you get, let's go to the number of awards. If you get a company, gets 1 award, 2 awards, see how they progress, and it goes to the point where it's real money. Once you exceed $1 million, that's good money. Now, if we go through the university, if the SBIR company decides that it's going to contract the university for some services, and SBIR is up to 30%. So if you're working for a university and you have the university earns one award, the university gets $84,000 that it can go into the university. Then, but if it's an STTR, it can go up to $153,000 for the university. If you're conducting your research out of the university, some of these funds can help you for expenses within the university, pay for postdocs, pay for graduate students. So for those of you who are in universities, this is a good deal, particularly for the administrators, because it's real money. Then if you move all the way to number 5, so row number 5, fourth row from the top, last box on the rightmost box. The university, if the company earns 5, combined 5 awards, the university gets, it will be coming to the university $768,000. And we don't get involved in the indirect rate of the universities or anything, but it would be, for me, it's important because we need involvement of the university professors, researchers, plus entrepreneurs. And then we have to incentivize the university to let you do this work. And because the universities benefit. Any questions so far?
Are there any specific guidelines for the university to spend that money?
If there's a what?
Any specific guidelines on how the university needs to spend the money?
There,
On the project, for the project which is approved, or they can spend it randomly?
well, the university takes the indirect rate off the top. That's it. When they go to the budget, they take, some universities take 50, others take 60. That goes, it's just like a regular grant. The university gets its cut, and God knows where those funds go. So then the other one belongs to the company, and then the company can pay, rent for the equipment, pay for students, and it goes to the work, to the research. Now, let me clarify something that is a little bit confusing for some universities. The professors can start a company. It's allowed for a professor to start a company on the side, and then the relationship we can answer later. But you can start a company on the side, and what you cannot do is just be the CEO and be paid by the university and then be paid by the company. But the arrangement, there's precedent, plenty of precedent. So if you are planning to do that, please contact us. We can put you in contact with some other professors who have done that and can walk you through the roadblock. Now that I mentioned the professors, we are creating a network of mentors. So everybody who wins an award is a resource. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, what happens if the professor at the university is by contract? It's not in the tenure-track position.
Okay. So you're a contractor. You should be you should be free to do that because you're a contractor. I don't know you have to look at the contract, because if it says that everything how the intellectual property is used and the limitation, but I don't see why you cannot do this freely, because it's your time. You're not an employee. So, but that's a good question.
Yeah, I have a question. I got a grant from the Centros Accelerator Program, $75,000. And because I'm a contract position at SBIR, there's a law of the university that doesn't pay the full salary for legal assessment for those who are in contract. Is that the same for the SBIR or STTR?
Well, no, let's look at this in terms of this question. Is the same thing. There's a money that is going to be coming to you, and if you have the company. So the university have their own rules, and if you're a contractor or a part-time, then you have to look at your contract. I don't see that you would have problem, but I'm not a lawyer. I haven't seen the contract, so don't take my word for it. I think it's most likely you can do that, but don't take a chance. Any other question? So next, Okay, same thing. This is for phase two. Phase two, as I mentioned before, depending on the institute, you can get $1 million for one proposal. Now, let me say, you can get for 3 years in excess of $1 million. So this is how it will break down. If you have 5 awards, you're getting in excess of $5 million for just phase two. With the university, which is the one that we want to recruit so that you can transfer that research into companies. The university can get, if there are 5 awards for STTR, you can get up to, the university can get up to $3 million. So what does that mean? It means that you're contributing to the university. Now, most universities do not include SBIR in your promotion package. University of Texas, I think Stanford and other universities, they consider that. And I think even Purdue was evaluating doing that, where if you bring money, serious money through SBIR and commercialize and take the research results into the market, it's included in the promotion package. But you have to ask, and from what I've seen, I'm not aware that it's done here in Puerto Rico. This is the contact information, and the best way just to write SBIR at prsciencetrack.org, because it goes to folders directly to Valentina and I. It goes directly. If not, for those of you who know the email address system at the trust, it will be jfigueroa at prsciencetrust.org. Valentina will be vpirasi at puertoricosciencetrust.org. And we do our best to respond quickly. One request that I ask, I don't know if it's out of order, but please follow, take the advice, because there are quite a few of decades of experience in doing this, and we find some people fighting us, and it's it wastes everybody's time. So it's basically trust us, trust me, something, which is scary, but in this case, please do so. Any other questions? All right, thank you.